Hey everyone, so I am back, and yeah, I even put a collar on for the occasion. So still got shorts on at the bottom though, but I won't say anything about that. So yeah, I just wanted to make a post about something that's very dear to me, and that is the fact that I feel like I know I made some very bad choices. Bad choices, things that I would consider were bad choices for my life and where I wanted to head throughout my life, as we all do. But there were choices that I made that really put me into a situation that kept me from becoming what it was or who it is that I want to become. Now, I ended up in some bad situations and, just being a person that I didn't want to be at all. And I had so many issues going on and everything else. But it got to the point where I just pretty much had enough with what was going on in life and decided to just make some changes. But it really was getting to the point that I had to change, that I absolutely had to change. And I suppose where I'm going with this is that you and I get to select who we are. Now, how do you do that? Because if you start right now, you're obviously not going to be the person that you want to be. So let's say you choose that you want to be a billionaire. All right. Now, you can decide that and you can believe that you are a billionaire all you want, but it's not going to change until you actually have the billion or whatever currency it is in your account, right? So it's not going to really help to just be standing around and just saying, okay, well, I'm a billionaire, right? And while I'm sure that, actually, I know that incantation has a lot of use and it can be very helpful. That's not what's going to happen. So what we need to do is we need to get very clear about who it is that you want to be, what it is that you want to change, what it is that you want to become. Put definitions down so you have a clear construct of what this individual looks like that you are trying to become. It is never too late to decide the way you want to be. Like I said, just because you can't be that person right now, that does not mean that we can't start behaving in a way that is conducive of becoming the person that you wanted to become. So if you want to be a billionaire, then the questions I'd be asking myself on a regular basis before I make decisions that are going to impact my future is, what would a billionaire do? And then I needed to figure out in that very moment, would I rather sleep in? Would a billionaire rather sleep in? Or is he probably up and getting after it, he or she? So yeah, I've gone as far as to actually write this out for myself. I'll leave it on the table, just to let myself see it every now and again. Just one of those things. But it's so important for me personally to keep this stuff in front of me. And I really do. I've always got things that I'm writing down. I'm always focusing on different things that I can actually try to change. It really is a consistent battle. It's one that you can quite easily dominate, but it is going to require consistency, right? So it becomes a lot easier to win on that basis when you're doing it. So like I spoke about on one of my posts on Instagram, we were speaking about your neural pathways and how they are laid down and obviously do whatever they do. So you've got this old neural pathway that's stuck in there, and every single time you do an action, let's say it is every single time that I think I am lazy, and I'm saying it all the time, I am lazy, I am lazy, I am lazy. Now, I act in a lazy way, I feel lazy, and every single time I do that, I pretty much strengthen the same neural network over and over again. It's just the same thing. Basically, it's like overlaying this network with concrete every single time you use it. That's the way I like to think about it. But now what you can do is when you start to do the other side, you start to actually form a new neural network. And the new neural network will be the new behavior. But the one that you use the most is the one that's going to be reinforced and will then become the dominant one. So you need to use it consistently. And when you don't use the other one, that one starts to break down. So as this one's breaking down, you're getting this one to build up, and that's exactly the way you're going to end up winning on this. And the stronger this one gets, the weaker this one gets, and that ends up with you with a new behavior. Behaving in a way that you want to behave, behaving in a way that you've chosen to behave, behaving in a way that you've trained yourself to behave. It very much is training. I think as a baby, we just feel whatever falls into our heads or bodies or whatever it is. You just go with the emotion. But we grow and we learn. Now, I didn't necessarily grow and learn that quickly. I'll be honest, I struggled. I really took like a long way around. You know, I definitely had Peter Pan syndrome. I mean, I wanted to stay young forever. I suppose. Avoid responsibility. I wanted to avoid all responsibility. It was easier to have things done for me and to stay younger and to not want to take on any of the responsibility of life, because the moment I take on the responsibility of life, things get very real very quickly. Suddenly I'm responsible for the state of my life. And that's not a realization that I wanted to come to, not at the time anyway. At least I didn't think so. And that's actually why my slogan, as the Naked Coach, is what it is. Which is, with great responsibility comes great power. Now I've explained why I feel it goes that way, rather than with great power comes great responsibility. I'm not saying the other one's null and void. I'm just saying that for me personally, it seems to make a lot more sense when I actually think about it from the perspective of this is my responsibility and it's my way to pick up and claim and take and mold and do whatever it is that I want. I'm the only one that is responsible for what happens in my life. Yes, things can happen on the outside. Outside influences are always going to be there, though. It is a part of life. It is what it is. It is life. But how I react to those, how I manage to keep myself where I want to be emotionally, is going to dictate my entire experience of life. It's become so evident to me. I cannot tell you what a relief it is to now, when I feel something like anger, or I feel like I'm not good enough, or anything that pops up into my head, and straight away it latches on with its claws and starts to drag the skin off, because it is a terrible feeling. But I know now that I can snap back. I've done it to the point where I've actually been able to feel it switching in a second. And like I said, obviously I'm so far from being perfect at this. You know, I'm going to work on it. The reason I am working on it so hard is because I suck at it. I can lose my temper. Road rage, hey, it happens. I mean, not to the point that maybe it sounds a bit more harsh than what it actually is. Like, I'm not out there causing fights, but I get really frustrated on the road sometimes. But I have been using this, and it's really working. And if it can work for me on the road, it can work for you. I can guarantee you that, because I get pissed off. But I have really been living a different experience. And it's so hard, because sometimes my heart's still pumping in the background because the adrenaline going and everything else. But I'm just like grateful. And I can feel that as I continue to practice this, it's just getting better and better. So while I suppose I won't be able to, share the end outcome with you, at least not for some time, because as I say, the proof is in the pudding. What I can tell you is that up until then, or at least for now, it seems to be very effective. And it is something that other people have used very successfully in the past. And while I have integrated it to some extent in the past, I don't think I was ever able to do it to the point that I am right now. And why is that? I think that because beforehand, what I used to do was I was doing it because I felt like I had to do it. I had to do it. It was the same thing for me as meditation every morning. I got up and I did the damn meditation. I hated it, every second of it, but I did it. Why? Because I felt like it was something I needed to do. Everything for me was always a goal, a means to an end. But when I started to realize, and very, very quickly, you'll notice it within a week, I'm sure, the benefits that I had, how I felt, how my entire day, the tone for the day was so much lighter, more pleasant, happier, just amazing. I start to feel myself being grateful throughout the day without even having to put it on. Gratefulness is a beautiful thing because it really does multiply, I can assure you of that. Once you start feeling grateful about something, that stuff just rolls over and your life just becomes so much more beautiful, at least in the moment. Like I say, I'll need to wait until the end to give you the full breakdown. But for what I can tell you for now, it really works. And I suppose I really want to hit home the facts that I came from a situation that I have really struggled. I've really been struggling with this stuff. So if I can do it, you can do it. I promise you this. If you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said it was impossible. I've managed to pull this off in a week. I've managed to change everything. And then from then, it's just getting better already. So I'd really hope that you give it a try. If you want any help at all, please drop me a message and let me help you out if I can. But there's plenty of information out there, and I would love to see anybody make a change in their life, one that's going to help them positively. So I just want to send you love. I hope you're having a fantastic week. I hope you're feeling very grateful. And yeah, thanks for listening.